Hello citizens of our nation, RAWR here, and because Star Wars The Last Jedi is about 2 months away from us, I thought that now would be a very fun time to revisit all of the Star Wars movies thus far. So, today we're going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, before I get into it, I have to put this little disclaimer over here. I am a huge fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is basically my entire life. The views expressed in this review are strictly my own. This is my own opinion, and it is perfectly okay if you disagree with my opinion. I know that there's several of you who really enjoy this film, who really enjoy the prequels overall, and that's awesome. I'm glad that you enjoy them. I'm not bashing you, and I don't mean to offend anyone because after all, it's okay to have different opinions. If you love the film, that's great. If you don't like it, that's good too. With that being said, let's move on to the shortest part of this video, the positives. And I'll start off with this. The action, for the most part, in this movie is really good. For example, the pod racing scene is very fun, very energetic. It might run a little bit too long, but it's still fun to watch. And of course, when you are talking about the action scenes in Star Wars The Phantom Menace, you have to bring up the epic lightsaber battle at the end between Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Darth Maul. It is the most badass, well choreographed, and energetic battle of the entire Star Wars series. And if it weren't for the fact that no one cared about any of the characters, it would be the best battle in Star Wars overall. The sound design is impeccable. Ben Burtt, he has been working on Star Wars since the very first one in 1977, and back what he did in 1977 was amazing, and somehow he keeps managing to top himself with every single Star Wars film. I have no idea how he continues to come up with all these crazy sound effects. And oh my god, the John Williams score is amazing. I mean, who doesn't love to just blast Duel of Fates? Anyway, now we're gonna move on to the longest part of this video, the negatives. So I'm gonna start off by saying that the script was very unbalanced. And what I mean by that is, in the first half hour, 45 minutes-ish of this movie, the film sets up a very interesting plot about a queen trying to save her people from invasion, and it's actually a pretty good premise. See, the problem is, in the second act, the film completely forgets about that entirely, and instead decides to focus on the main characters finding this stupid little boy on a sand planet. For that entire second act, like literally nothing happens in regards to advancing the main story of the movie. There was no progression whatsoever. Then, in the last 20-25 minutes, the film is like, oh wait, wasn't I doing something else earlier? Oh, maybe I should go back to that. And then it focuses on what was established before again. But you know what though? The film does make up for that because it actually has some pretty good comedy scenes.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe. They live on the moons of Viego, I think.
You know, the acting wasn't terrible.
Yippee!
Oh wait, yeah, it kind of was. I really want to know how you got actors like Liam Neeson and Natalie Portman to be in this movie and they both ended up being garbage, just like everyone else in this cast. I like Liam Neeson a lot, and Natalie Portman is one of my favorite actresses working today. She is amazing, and if you don't think that, you should watch her in Black Swan and Leon the Professional. She is so good in those films. Portman plays Padme, aka Queen Amidala, and she looks so bored. I will not sign your treaty, Viceroy. I must save my people. I'm going back to Naboo. That is literally how she says every single line in the film. Everyone, and I mean everyone, looks like they would rather be somewhere else. But you know what though? I can't really blame them, because if I had to act in a piece of shit film for a paycheck, I'd be pretty upset too. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now I know what a lot of you guys are gonna say right now. Ewan McGregor was awesome as Obi-Wan. And I agree. He was awesome in episode 2 and episode 3. This one is another story completely. But you know what? I can't really blame them, because this film literally gave Obi-Wan nothing to do. Tell me, what was the point of having Obi-Wan in this movie? He literally just stands there with Qui-Gon and doing nothing the entire film up until like the last 10 minutes where something important happens to him, and that's when he suddenly becomes a significant character. So you cannot tell me that there was any point at all of having Obi-Wan in the film. And that actually really hurts me to say that, because Obi-Wan is one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. Now let's move on to the next point. And the next point, I think, is something everyone can agree on, whether you like the movie or you don't like it. Jar Jar Binks. Oh, Misha called Jar Jar Binks. Ew, Misha's stepping icky poopy. Ew, Misha needs to go to hell and die. You know, I've always wondered, one of the greatest mysteries of life is how drunk or how high was George Lucas when he created Jar Jar Binks. The world may never know. Like seriously, I want to know what was going on in his mind that made him think that Jar Jar Binks was okay. It's not okay, George. It's not okay. Do not give us that stupid bullshit humor that only 5-year-old kids would enjoy. And I know you can make the argument, well, Star Wars is meant to be a family film, including kids. But all of the humor in the original trilogy was very, very clever. And it wasn't stupid. It wasn't all poop and fart jokes like freaking Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar Binks is that stupid kid at school that tries to be cool, but he's really annoying and no one likes him. I would rather cut off my own hands and let a spider lay eggs in my mouth than spend 2 minutes with Jar Jar Binks. And let me ask you something. What purpose did Jar Jar Binks serve in terms of the overall plot and story of the film? None. And I know some of you guys are gonna say, but hey, I mean, Jar Jar Binks, he took the Jedi to the city underwater so they could get over to the other side of the planet where the Queen was and where they needed to be. Yes, I know. But guess what? That happens in the first 15 minutes of the movie, and after that, Jar Jar Binks does literally nothing. He has 0 point from that point on. That should have been it for Jar Jar Binks. But no. Instead, they put him in the rest of the entire movie trying to be funny, but he wasn't funny. He was just annoying and doing stupid shit all over the place. But you know what? I'm not even mad about that. I am not even mad about that. And you know why? It's because this movie makes no sense whatsoever. And one of the reasons as to why this film does not make sense is because the characters are so inconsistent, it's not even funny. For example, we are introduced to a stupid 9-year-old boy named Anakin Skywalker. One of the very first things that he says is that he's a pilot and that he's been a pilot for his whole entire life. And then later on, there is this huge pod race that's very dangerous for humans to compete in, and not only does he compete in it, but his freaking pod breaks down during the middle of the race, and he fixes it. Fast forward to the very end of the movie, where there's this giant battle at the Queen's Palace, and he hides inside of a starfighter for his safety. Not only does he accidentally turn the starfighter on, but he can't figure out the controls to fly it? Throughout this whole entire sequence, he literally has no idea what he is doing. He accidentally destroys the big giant ship that all of the other starfighters were trying to destroy, and he does it completely by accident. So, let me ask you something. Do you mean to tell me that he has been a pilot his entire life, and not only that, but he built his own pod, he used it in a race, he had it break down during a race, and he fixes it during a race, yet 30 minutes later he doesn't know how to fucking drive a starfighter? Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, do you seriously expect me to believe this shit? No. Alright, let's go back to the battle at the Queen's Palace for 1 second, because there's another huge character inconsistency that happens that pisses me off even more. But you know, I'm not even gonna tell you about it. I'm gonna show you about it. You see, I was watching this movie the other night, and I was Snapchatting throughout the entire movie because I basically Snapchat my entire life. So, I'm just gonna let my Snapchat do the talking.
You see how these guys are fearlessly taking down a whole army right now? They're just going in, fucking going at it. Keep this shit in mind, y'all. Keep this shit in mind. Now look at this, guys. The same group from 5 minutes ago, and they all have weapons. 5 minutes ago, they were fearless as shit, killing people. They get ambushed by one fucking guy, and not one of them tries to shoot him. They're all scared as shit now. This is one of the many reasons why this movie makes no fucking sense.
Need I say more? Did that make any fucking sense to any of you guys? But you know what? I am not even mad about that one. I'm not even mad about that. Because the stupidest character inconsistency has yet to come. Now you guys remember that awesome lightsaber battle with Darth Maul that I was talking about earlier? Well yeah, that battle is really awesome. Darth Maul is a badass, and he is very quick, he's very agile, he has very good reflexes, like... But then, at the end of the battle, the stupidest fucking shit on the planet happens. And you know what? It's so stupid that I'm gonna reenact it for you right here. Guys, that is literally what happens in the movie. Obi-Wan just jumps back up, and Darth Maul just stands there looking at him, and he gives Obi-Wan the opportunity to slice him in half. What the hell happened to the very quick and very agile Darth Maul with fast reflexes that you were literally 2 seconds ago? All of these character inconsistencies in the film are appalling, and I don't know, somebody should get fucking fired for this shit. I hope someone did, because I expect better than this out of my films. Overall, fuck this movie. And I know, I'm going back to what I said in the beginning, it's okay if you like this movie. I don't mean to insult you, I don't mean to bash anyone. I like that you like this movie, I think that's great. But for me personally, as a huge Star Wars fan, I feel insulted by this film. On my rating scale, Star Wars The Phantom Menace gets a 4.5 out of 10. So, Star Wars The Phantom Menace, did you guys see it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Or do you want to see it? Why or why not? Comment down below, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe today for more content. Farewell, citizens of our nation. Catch you all next time.